Awesome. Um, Good afternoon from Salt Lake City, Utah. My name is Renato Almeida Gonzalez, and I'm the Public Art Program Manager for the Salt Lake City Arts Council. I'm joined today by my colleague, Amy Childress. She's our Public Art Coordinator, and together we bring our works to life here in Salt Lake City through the Public Art Program. Before I begin, I'm going to share my screen and just go over some housekeeping, and then we can get started. Amy, I'm going to ask you to confirm that we are able to, the people are seeing my screen.
I am not seeing your screen yet.
Cool. Can everybody see that?
Yes, I can see that.
Awesome. I'm glad. Thank you so much. Amy, if you can help me keep a close eye on the chat, because I have my notes on one side. Like I said, my name is Renato Almeida Gonzalez, and I'm the Public Art Program Manager for the Salt Lake City Arts Council. And today we are very excited to be covering some important information regarding our current request for qualifications for an iconic public artwork installation for Salt Lake City West Side that will be in Glendale Park. This is our request for qualifications, and today is Tuesday, July 16th, 2024. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge that the land upon which our program operates and the land in which we gather, create, and appreciate art is the traditional and unceded territory of the Shoshone, Goshute, Paiute, and Ute peoples. The history of this land predates the establishment of Salt Lake City, and we honor the indigenous peoples who have stewarded this land for generations. Let us actively work towards dismantling systems of equality as we strive to create a more inclusive and equitable future. This info session is recorded and it's going to be posted on the project page. We will also be including a copy of the deck of the slides that we will present today. Please save your questions for the end of the presentation and then start including them in the chat. My colleague Amy and I will be going over those at the end. Any disruptive behavior will entail your expulsion from the info session, and we reserve the right to end today's program at any time for any reason, so please be respectful. All right, beginning on the eligibility, this request for qualifications is open to all artists or artist-led teams located within the United States, regardless of race, religion, gender identity, sexual orientation, national origin, age, marital status, political opinion or affiliation, or mental or physical disability. We'll be going over some of the important details regarding this public art commission, but we are going to place strong preference to artists who have experience engaging with community members throughout their artistic process, particularly when it comes to the creation of the artwork itself. Artist-led applications are welcome, but each team must be led by a person with a demonstrated history of professional activity as an artist. Teams may not substitute team members after submission unless the public art program consents to any proposed substitution. An artist may not apply as a member of more than one team and may not apply as an individual artist if they're also part of a team. So one person, one application. A little bit of an introduction to this really important public art commission that it's been in the works for quite a bit of time. Glendale Park has been chosen as a future site for an iconic public art installation in Salt Lake City. Glendale Park currently exists as a very, very small neighborhood park. However, thanks to Salt Lake City voters who approved a Parks, Trails, and Open Space General Obligation Bond, they're injecting a lot of significant funding into transforming the former site of, if you're from Salt Lake City, you will know the Raging Waters water park. The old water park will be transformed into the first regional park of its size in over 60 years. It's the most significant investment that public lands Salt Lake City has made in a public land space in over 60 years. And Glendale Park is also the signature project for the General Obligation Bond that is also helping support this public art installation. We are seeking to commission an iconic public art installation for the West Side, first and foremost. Public art is often site-specific, And in this case, we are taking a region specificity approach, if you could call it something, and that is for Salt Lake City West Side. I go into a little bit of context in the next slides. But whoever we commission, an artist or team, will be responsible for developing their design and concepts in close collaboration with Salt Lake City's West Side communities who have expressed a desire for an artwork that fosters a sense of community and belonging and reflects their shared values. A little bit of project background to contextualize what we're talking about. If you have not been to Salt Lake City's West Side, it is Salt Lake City, it is Utah's capital city, but it's also a city that, particularly for West Side residents, have experienced and continue to experience the effects of redlining. The west side of Salt Lake City, this is a historical map from showing how Salt Lake City was redlined at the middle of the 20th century. For those that do not know, excuse me, what redlining is, it's the urban design practice that was unfortunately commonplace in the middle of the 20th century across the major cities in the United States that divided neighborhoods based on their desirability. Oftentimes, this was tied to the perceived ability for people to pay mortgages, and what certain areas of cities were considered a risk. In Salt Lake City's West Side, which is one of the most diverse places in Salt Lake City, a great plurality of its residents are people of color, immigrants that have been disadvantaged by the lingering effects of redlining. So you can kind of see here, the Salt Lake City is divided across this east and west side. The west side is divided by the railroads and afterwards the freeway. So Interstate 15 runs north-south across the entire valley of Salt Lake and effectively divides our communities into east and west sides. Salt Lake City has been making quite a bit of an effort to bridge the gap between those sides, but also address those inequities by providing services, and now really intentionally commissioning our work for Salt Lake City's West Side. When I immigrated to this country, I moved to the West Side, so I'm really, really excited about this public art commission. There's more that you can explore. We go into further detail in our RFQ page and in our RFQ PDF, so don't hesitate also to reach out, read more questions, and take a look at some of the context that we provided. Despite this, Salt Lake City's West Side is culturally rich, vibrant, and it's reflected in traditions, neighborhoods, architectural styles, and it makes it a really exciting place to live and also a very unique place where communities are very solidified, strengthened, and formed here within our valley. A little bit about this project context and background. It began more than a year ago, probably almost 2 years ago, when current Salt Lake City Mayor Erin Mendenhall, in her 2023 plan, she included a focus on strengthening our community by creating inclusive and equitable opportunities for all, working intentionally towards safe and affordable and equitable neighborhoods. She specifically tasked the public art program with an objective to begin community engagement and site selection for an iconic West Side public art installation. Throughout 2023, the Arts Council, which we reside in, the public art program, in close collaboration with West Side communities and our civic engagement team, conducted a very extensive effort to involve communities in this process so we could learn from them and understand what their goals, wishes, and desires were for a public art installation on the West Side. This resulted in a very extensive engagement report. It's linked here. It's also linked here, and it's also linked in a couple of places on our RFQ, including the resource section towards the bottom. This is the guide. This is essentially our guiding principles in how we are approaching this commission, with the goal to really reflect the diverse voices, values, needs, and ideas of West Side residents. Another important document that we're taking into context is our own Arts Council strategic plan. that includes equity as a integral principle of it, and acknowledges and addresses historic and current disparities experienced by our visitors here in Salt Lake City. So once we have our finalists for this call for artists, and excuse me, more importantly, once we have our commissioned artists, we want them to rely on the findings of this West Side Public Art Project in order for them to really truly understand what we've heard from the community. However, this is with the caveat that we'll be doing even more engagement. Let me get out here. A little bit more about Glendale Park. Like I said at the beginning of this presentation, Glendale Park was once home to a very, 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 very popular water park. Used to be called Raging Waters, and it's part of a larger green space that spans over 100 acres. That's next to the existing Glendale Neighborhood Park. It's much smaller than what we envisioned. It's also adjacent to the 17 South River Park, the Glendale Golf Course on its back, and also the Jordan River. The Jordan River is a river that runs from Utah Lake south of Salt Lake City all the way up to the Great Salt Lake. It's the main waterway and the Wasatch Front in our Salt Lake Valley, and it's a jewel of our west side and of our city. It's something that people enjoy for recreation. The entire path along the Jordan River is used as a byway. It's for recreation, bikes, walking, etc. So it's a source of community pride, and the Westside residents really identify the Jordan River as a site for an iconic public art installation. So Glendale Park seemed or was our natural choice. Another important aspect of Glendale Park, for those that have visited Salt Lake City, this park it's being envisioned in terms of its importance with residents as a destination, very much like Sugar House Park and Liberty Park, which is sort of the crown jewel of our public lands here in Salt Lake City, will be. So this is, some have called it the West Side response. Important things for people to know, let me go to the next slide, is here are some contextual renderings that we're showing you. The area in red here is where the water park used to be. This small green area right here is where Glendale Park, the smaller neighborhood Glendale Park, is currently at. The Jordan River, as you can see, really goes across the entire valley from north to south. Here's some renderings showing the watershed, the city regional context, and also the neighborhood context in which Glendale Park exists. I will go over some details. Here is currently what it looks like, an aerial view. And after here, with our colleagues in public lands who were implementing this project with have envisioned for the site. They have also conducted extensive engagement and outreach that is leading to the construction of this park. So in a way, this public art installation is a product of our engagement that we did exclusively and uniquely for public art installation, but also is the product of the extensive engagement our colleagues have done for the re-envisioning of Glendale Park. I won't go into much detail. You can consult this rendering online and also at the end of our RFQ. But there are multiple improvements being made. This tiny section over here, sorry, I have it in two screens. I was looking at my other screen. This tiny section over here is where the current Glendale Park is. We do have a artwork installation though called Glendale Gather Blocks. That's very community-based. Everything east of that is all new. Here's the Jordan River, where we also have another art installation that's carries out on multiple sites. The slides that you were looking at that we kept showing you renderings for were kind of here on this area. Here is a hill that we really enjoy, where you can kind of see I don't know if it's that, I think it must have been man-made, but it's one of the highest points that you can see the entire valley of Salt Lake, so it makes for a pretty iconic view. But there will be multiple amenities, including skateboarding area, sledding hill, a pavilion, multiple all abilities playgrounds, picnic areas, dog park, etc. So it's a really, really exciting park, and I'm very happy that an iconic artwork will be in such a meaningful place for Salt Lake City. Here's some photos of the slides. The slides have been dismantled. An artist could use them as part of their public art project. However, they're not required to. So right now, this site sits empty. We have identified several areas within Glendale Park as suitable locations for a public artwork, which include near the 17 South. This is 17 South to function as a gateway element between the eastern entrance to the parking lot and the proposed outdoor pool over here. Over here, C, south of the central parking lot entrance and north of the hiking and sledding hill, which is this one. D, north or northeast of the flex lawn, which is here, and then a performance space over here. E, this is my favorite area. I just think it's such a iconic view, is over here on the mound where these lights used to be, and it really overlooks the city in quite an incredible way, or on the grassy area on the west end park. An artist can propose another location for this project. However, once an artist is commissioned, they will become part of the design team for the park. So we'll work to make sure that your artwork is fully integrated in the construction and the design elements for the park. The park is currently being built in 2 different phases. Phase 1 is currently underway, and it will be, don't quote me on this, I should know this, but it's a portion of the area. Phase 2 is where we are going to be implementing this public art project, and it will be the bulk of the work being done to Glendale Park. I should note also the importance of scale. We prefer something that is one larger, impactful artwork over several smaller pieces. Materials should be and appear to be durable and vandalism-proof and relatively tamper-proof. This is high priority for our operations folks, but I want to emphasize the need for one bigger artwork that in scale is important. An object that's large, that could be viewed from multiple angles, from far away, close up in the distance. We are not placing any thematic or content or anything like that on an artist just yet, because we want the artist, once they are under contract to work with our West Side residents, to really come up with a design that works well for both the side and the West Side. And this is what I emphasize in an artwork being created with and for community. The selected artist or team is going to work with our project stakeholders and consultants. I want to emphasize that we anticipate having consultants specifically to help an artist who is commissioned conduct community engagement with community. We want to commission an artist that really prioritize or that works with community somehow in order to develop their design. We are not imposing a way in which this engagement should occur. And we want to leave this to the consultant and the artist to develop something in which further feedback from the community and their involvement in the design of this artwork is included. I understand that some artists may not be from, the commission artists may not be from Utah, but we want to emphasize the opportunity that you may have to work with our team of local artists to perhaps use the expertise of our local artists to help you conduct your design process and perhaps facilitate and build that trust with local communities. Here are some of the artwork goals. I'm going to go over them. This is essentially, if selected for a commission, what we're going to ask you to be thinking about. The Solid Art Design Board seeks to commission an artist or artist-led team to create an iconic artwork for the West Side at Glendale Park that meets some or all of the following conceptual and aesthetic goals. Demonstrates a compelling artistic vision that enhances placemaking, promotes neighborhood pride, and contributes to the vibrant character of Salt Lake City's West Side. reflects the diverse cultural heritage, interests, and stories of Salt Lake City's West Side, highlighting the unique identities and experiences of its residents or environment. Serves as a gathering place for West Side community members, fostering a sense of belonging and inclusivity through engaging design elements. Aligns with the overarching goals of Glendale Park to create a community-led vision that provides equitable access to outdoor recreation, enhances environmental quality, and promotes social connectivity. I know this goal is a little bit abstract, but we wanted to include it here because these artwork goals are also very similar or in alignment with the goals of the park itself. We want an artwork that is informed through community center strategies that celebrate and reflect the resiliency of West Side and its residents, considers innovative and sustainable design practices that reflect the West Side's commitment to environmental stewardship and resilience, and that demonstrates a high quality craftsmanship and attention to detail, ensuring that the artwork meets all public safety and structural maintenance standards, including ADA compliance and other solid requirements. The budget for this commission, we're really excited about this budget. It's a $425,000 total commission, though it's going to be divided into two separate agreements. The first agreement is for an artist to conduct community engagement and make the design of their artwork. And the second commission will be for an artist to oversee artwork fabrication and installation. There's a limit of one commission per artist or team, and it's inclusive of artist fees, supplies, materials, fabrication, labor, insurance, artwork transportation, installation of artwork on site, travel expenses to and from Salt Lake City if the commissioned artist, is from outside of Salt Lake City, and artwork engineering. We will also be asking the artist to include a 10% contingency of their commission for the projects for unexpected expenses. And because you will be a part, the commission artist will be a part of our design team, certain elements may be able to be included, such as footings for structures at the city's expense, obviously pending review and design on the final construction document. I do want to emphasize and give a big thanks to Salt Lake City voters for approving the Parks, Trails, and Open Space General Obligation Bond through which this project is being funded. And also I want to thank City Council for providing a special allocation for an iconic public artwork on the West Side that was independent of our normal street funding, which is through the Person for All program. So we're super grateful, and I think the commission budget is exciting, and I really hope, I'm really excited and hopeful about this commission. Insurance requirements, we will be requiring this insurance elements or this proof of insurance, certificates of insurance, from the commission artist, which include general liability, vehicular insurance, and workers' compensation. This insurance should be active and valid throughout the duration of the project. Artist qualifications. So this is how we are going to be choosing an artist as a finalist, and I'll go over into the finalist process in just a little bit. But before I read this, let me get a little in collaboration with project stakeholders, Westside residents, and public art representatives, the Salt Lake Art Design Board is going to choose 3 finalists to develop, that's incorrect, not artwork proposals. We're gonna choose 3 finalists to come to Salt Lake City and be interviewed in person. We may require finalists to present or to prepare a presentation. I go over a little bit into details into the next slide. But the selection of an artist for this project is subject to, but not limited by, professional experience represents a developed and successful body of site-specific public art projects of a similar scope and scale as demonstrated by visual documentation, demonstrates a commitment to leading community engagement efforts with the Salt Lake City's West Side communities, actively involving them in the design process to ensure authenticity, cultural relevance, and meaningful representation in the final artwork, experience in developing and implementing community-centered strategies to define the scope and design of artwork and art elements, ability to meet deadlines and budget and to perform work in a timely, professional manner, willingness of the artist to consult and work with collaboratively with the Salt Lake Art Design Board, Public Art Program, community members, and design and construction teams, and demonstration of a strong understanding of sense of place in a design and in a context-sensitive manner. Here's a bit of the artwork selection process. If selected for an interview as a finalist, you will be required to fly here to Salt Lake City. We'll provide a stipend / honorarium for you to come here. You will be notified in about September, more than 4 weeks notice for you to come. And like I said, we may be asking you to prepare a presentation on your practice and community engagement experience. We essentially are going to commission an artist, trust them to and guide them and trust them into creating an artwork, and not going to be commissioning you to create a specific artwork. We're selecting an artist who will then help us land an artwork. An interview honorarium, like I explained before, will be given to all finalists. And if necessary, we live in a post-COVID era, interviews could be conducted virtually via Zoom. After the interview process is concluded, the board, Salt Lake Art Design Board, will recommend an artist or team and one alternate for commission to the mayor, who has final approval. Only the selected artist and team will enter into this contract agreements with the city, and the alternate will only be able to enter in those agreements if, for any reason, we're unable to go under contract with the artist that was selected, right? Some agreements, like I said, there will be 2 different contracts for this commission and project assumptions. The first phase, this is phase 1, not phase 1 for construction. I'm calling it internally phase 1, is for you, the artist, once selected, to come here to Salt Lake City and really get to work, get to know our West Side communities, get to know the space, and get to work with them and create an artwork with them. So it will be inclusive of both design services and community engagement. Like I stated before, we anticipate having a consultant be able to facilitate those sessions here in Salt Lake City. The second agreement, what we're internally calling phase 2, is for you to fabricate and install your artwork on the West Side. And the oversight will include, the oversight or your scope of work will also include collaboration with project stakeholders, West Side residents, the design consultant, general contractor, and city officials. Once again, the reminder that we will be requiring an artist to carry certain types of insurance if selected for commission, and some of the boilerplate language that if you're a public artist, you may be familiar with, but we will retain the right to remove or relocate your artwork entirely or in portion as may be deemed necessary in the future. We do so with 90% of the time of a safety or structural issue. That's an emergency. We work with the artists closely in making sure that if we need to do this, we work with the artists to make sure their vision remains intact. But we wanted to let you know, because if something falls, we may need to remove it immediately. The selected artist also will retain copyright of their work, but you'll grant us, Salt Lake City, a right for reproduction in material objects like education, sculpture, education, outreach, pamphlets, etc. We go to presentations. We like to show what we've done. So you give us that right. But you'll retain copyright of your work. Also, in performance under this project agreement, you agree that you will comply with all applicable SLC requirements, laws, codes, regulations, ordinances, etc. One big important thing is that once you are ready to proceed with fabrication, you must do so at the point of engineering. We have to approve your engineering before fabrication can proceed. Here's a sample of an old contract. Our contracts change. You're welcome to seek counsel once we're at that juncture of the commission, but we just provide you a boilerplate language contract so you can kind of understand how these are structured. Project schedule. Let me see if we're good on time. Your deadline to apply is August 15th by 11:59 p.m. The website will close automatically. Call for entry cafe.org at 11:59 p.m. We are not able to take late applications, no exceptions. So please take a really close look at that. The finalist interview process, like I said, 3 finalists are going to be chosen for in-person interviews here in Salt Lake City. If you're selected, you'll be notified in early September of 2024. You may be required to attend a finalist meeting mid to late September 2024, with the anticipation that the interviews will be taking place here in Salt Lake City on Wednesday, November 6th, 2024, during an art design board meeting. After commission is done, we anticipate the commission recommendation and approval by the mayor to happen mid to late November of this year. Upon which we receive that approval, we can move into contracting with the idea that you will be working with our community in designing your artwork the winter and spring of 2024-2025. You will come back to an art design board meeting in May to present the final object for final approval. And we can then go into phase 2 contracting for the fabrication and installation of your artwork with the goal of installation, completion, and a ribbon cutting ceremony, big party, spring, summer of 2027. How to apply. Here's another view. This is the hill that I was talking about. Another fun thing, just I'm looking at this rendering, is the slides are no longer there. This basis, this concrete foundations, footings are still there. They will probably be taken out, but I always think they will make a cool basis or something for an artwork. So it's just an idea I've always had when visiting. But this hill, as small as it may seem on the screen, is one actually of the highest places that occur naturally on the west side. So it's a pretty cool view. The Wasatch Mountains are behind, and then if you look towards this area, you'll be able to see downtown Salt Lake City. Okay, we're almost there, guys. Here is a link to the call for entry webpage where this project is posted. No application fees. All of your applications must be submitted through this site. Please, please, please give yourself ample time to become familiar with the site, especially if it's your first time applying. We always recommend that you give yourself 2 days in advance, start working through your application. Call for Entry Cafe is pretty artist friendly in terms of you being able to upload things at your own pace. You have your own profile, so make sure you keep a close eye and understanding how this works. All your application materials are going to be uploaded in the site, in the specific place where we ask you to submit them. Any materials not specifically requested as part of this process or exceeding the page length or format requirements will not be considered or reviewed by the Art Design Board, may result in disqualification. We do not make announcements or notices of disqualification. So please, excuse me, take a really close look at our application requirements. Another thing here is you apply individually or as a team, once again, by 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so Salt Lake City local time, or Denver time, that's the other maybe have, by August 15th. Your applicants, your name and contact information must appear in all materials. If applying as a team, let us know who we need to be reaching out to, who's your team's representative. Make sure you note clearly, both in CAFE and in when you submit your application, materials that you're applying as a team to be considered for this project. Submit all of the required materials. Please take note of different ways in which CAFE may be able to assist you with the technical aspects of uploading your application. We're able to answer questions about the project, when it's to be in it, when, if the website's having a problem, if you don't get how X, Y, Z work, that's something that we are going to ask you. We can work with you, but we're going to ask you to call CAFE and they will be able to help you. Finally, and most importantly, we are not looking for submissions or proposals for a new commission at this time. That will be the task of an artist to do. We don't want you to work for free, so do not submit anything that you have. You can talk about your ideas in your letter of recommendation, your letter of application. You can talk about how you address public art and artistic practice, but do not submit new artwork at this point. Also important to submit, do not submit old artwork that, that you're looking to place. That is also something. Application materials. Please consult our RFQ PDF. That's the best, most concise place where you will find all of this information. But we ask for a letter of interest, no more than 1 page or 500 words. I know we're asking it's a small space, but keep it concise. We have to go through a lot of applications. So make sure it's well written and it really highlights the things that we're asking for, which include a narrative relevant and aim to connect your project goal, the project goals that describe your previous body of work, but also examples of collaborating with community members, include details about your methods, explain what meaningful community engagement is to you. That's who we're looking to hire. It's an artist that's both creates beautiful artwork, but also is able to create it with community. So make sure you highlight that when it comes to your application. Your resume or CV, 2 pages max per artist, please, not to exceed 3. Artist teams must submit 1 resume per artist. Please combine them all into a PDF. Some advice, make it current, make it brief, make it relevant. Try to avoid fancy fonts, colors, pictures, just something that we could really easily understand and view. And we're going to ask you to include 2 professional references. These professional references, a lot of artists have submitted contractors they've worked with, previous commissioning agencies or developers that have commissioned them with our work. We do give them a call during the interview process, but we won't do so before. You'll know, we'll let you know if selected. Hey, let your references know that we are going to be reaching. Images of work. I truly cannot emphasize the importance of this section. This is the primary way in which your artwork is judged. It's visual arts, public art. We're looking at images. So please be considerate of the images that you submit. And we give you some examples, good quality that are straightforward and just the artwork itself. We want to understand what you've been able to do. View the product that you've been able to do. Include under the appropriate metadata fields the title, year, medium, dimensions, location, budget, and a brief description of the artwork. Do not submit multiple images of different artworks in one image. Same thing, 1 image, 1 artwork. Previous proposals, you are allowed to submit previous proposals that perhaps were not commissioned, but this cannot account for more than 3 of the 10 images, and you can submit up to 2 videos. Assistance, I won't go into much detail other than what's included in the RFQ. My colleague Amy and I are available to answer any questions about this project. Give us a call, send us an email. That's probably the easiest way in which you can get a hold of. We also want to say that if you need additional assistance, do not hesitate to reach out to us, where we will help if we're able to help, including any translation into additional languages. I'm a native Spanish speaker, so I can help you out in Spanish. Any others, we can try and find the appropriate help for you in order for you to apply and be considered for this opportunity. Now, I want to go over resources. This is one of the very last sections of the RFQ, but I want to highlight its importance. Perhaps it could be more important. You could consider it will be more important once you're under commission. We don't think so. We want to give you a full context of the type of artists we're looking for and how we're approaching the site. All of these resources right here, which include our engagement report, all of the incredible work that our colleagues in public lands have done, including the master plan, vision plans, thriving in place. It's a very important record and action plan that Salt Lake City officially adopted to mitigate the advancement of gentrification, which currently affects West Side residents. Multiple others. Explore that page, get a feel. It will also get you an understanding of the issues that currently affect the West Side, but also how the West Side sees itself and wants to be represented. It's an important artwork for an important place in our city. Any questions, please direct them to my colleague Amy and I. My personal email is there. Public art program is there. Please note that the longer you wait to ask for questions, we may not be able to get to you on time. So just be mindful of that. And with that, this is also old, so I'll change it. But with that, and then here's the Glendale Park as it is. With that, we'll open it up for questions or anything you want to ask of our program.
So Renato, it looks like we have two questions in the chat. The first one is, what are the slides made of?
The slides are made of, I do not know the specific material, but think like that really sturdy, crazy plastic, perhaps fiberglass. Some of the slides will be repurposed into a placemaking feature within the park itself. People really identify with the slides. We're not calling the placemaking feature a public artwork. Artists could use the slides as a material. But we're not requiring an artist to use the slides for their artwork. Good question.
And then the next question is, will community representatives be involved in artist selection?
Yes, we hope to include community representatives in the artist selection and interview process. We had a focus group going back to our engagement report that I presented to all of you. We had a focus group that we conducted in November last year with key Westside leaders and other community members, in which we talked very abstractly and also in detail about this project. So our goal is to invite some of them, not too many, but some of them to be participants in this process and to be part of, the community engagement with them in the future.
Our last question is a comment. It says, good job defining the project. So thank you. Are there any other questions?
All right, let's stop recording.